should say something.
All right, what's going on, y'all? Welcome to the first Locker Huddle of the season. I got 4 guests with me today. We got Meech, we got Petey, we got James, and we got Lid. All right, so now since this is the first show, we're gonna ease into it and we'll progress as the season moves forward. But for now, I will be asking each guest who their favorite team is, what they predict their record will be at the end of the season, and they will have 4 minutes to explain why. So I'm gonna go ahead and kick it off. Meech, first question.
All right. What's going on with y'all, fellas?
What up? What up?
What's going on?
Good. Nice to
Oh,
be
yeah,
on.
we got to remember, everybody got to be on mute while whoever's talking everybody got to be on mute besides that person. We good? Everybody good? All right, so my team is the Tennessee Titans, y'all. Coming off of 3-14 last year, terrible year. Rebuilding year, we really ain't been shit since 2022. We made it to the AFC Championship. After that, we ended up trading away A.J. Brown, and Derrick Henry ended up leaving. We lost a lot of pieces. My expectations for this year, with us only winning 3 games last year, we're still in the rebuild mode. I do believe that the AFC South is very weak. I held Houston to a higher standard, but with that offensive line and C.J. Stroud didn't look as good as I thought he would. I think that they're just defensive based. So I think the AFC South is still open for everybody. Now, I'm not saying we're going to win the division, but I believe that realistically, we could win about 7 or 8 games this year. The reason why I say that it was because of the additions we got this year. We wasn't able to get Jeremiah Love in the draft. He ended up going to Arizona Cardinals, so we ended up picking up Cardinal Tate. That's the #1 receiver we got. Calvin Ridley was out last year. He's back. We went and signed Wendell Robertson from the Giants, a slot receiver that had 1,000 yards with Jackson Dart. I believe Cam Ward is a better quarterback when we got the offensive line blocking for him. The defense looked terrible last year. We went out and got a lot of young pieces. I don't know how they're going to look together, but with Jeffrey Simmons up front, Franklin Myers that we just traded for from Denver Broncos, I believe that we're going to be able to put a little bit more pressure on the quarterback. And if we can force more turnovers, because we didn't have too many turnovers last year, if we're able to force more turnovers, that's going to generate to more wins. To me, the receiving core we had last year, our #1 receiver was our special team kick returner. He was our #1 receiver. That should tell you everything you know. We went out and addressed that issue. I believe that we could win about 9, maybe about 8 or 9 games this year. That's what I'm thinking right now.
All right, so we going with 8 or 9. Which one you confident in?
I'll say 8 for now.
8 for now. Got you.
Yeah.
So we got you down for 8 and 9 season. Anybody else think that the Titans ain't gonna go 8 and 9 this year?
I'm gonna speak on that. I'm not really sure what they're gonna go, but I do believe that the heart of that division is I think the coach is going to take that division. So for him to say that it's up in the air, I don't see that as of right now. I mean, it's still early. I'm not sure if Daniel Jones came back fully healthy or not because he did have a horrible injury. But as we all seen last year, they was rolling, and they came to a complete stop once Daniel Jones got hurt. So, I mean, if he's not starting week 1, then, I can see how you could say it's up in the air. But like I said, I haven't been following completely to say if he's going to be back healthy or not. So if he is back healthy, I think it's the Colts division.
I gotta go with Houston in that division, man. They got a mean defense. You know, last year they was lighting the league up with that defense. The Colts, like Goose said, the Colts is nice, especially Daniel Jones. He was balling, and I got Tennessee behind both of those teams. But I'm gonna go with Houston, man. If they can get C.J. Stroud back on the path that he was on earlier in his career, they're going to be tough, man. But they could get that quarterback position figured out. That defense is insane. And they picked up our safety. You know, I've always been a fan of Reed Blankenship, so they got some support back there in the back of their defense now too. So I'll roll with Houston and probably Indy second.
All right. Meech, care to respond to any of that? Or James, you got anything on that?
Just to echo in, I agree with Pete. Houston, that defense is nasty. You know what I'm saying? I see, obviously we've seen them up close and personal and things like that. And obviously if CJ Stroud wouldn't have shit the bed, they would have definitely been in the AFC Championship with Denver in that dog fight right there. So I definitely got them winning the South. But I think Jacksonville is going to be second. I think Jacksonville has a lot of offensive firepower, and obviously with saying with Travis Hunter coming back and things like that, how they're going to piece him in and things like that. I think they'll take a step forward. I just think they just a notch below, obviously overall, saying in that particular division.
Hey, you from Duval too, right?
No, I'm from Seattle. I live in Jacksonville. This is my
Oh
that's my
no,
first duty
I was just
station.
calling out the bias, man. I just called out the
Nah, ain't
bias.
no
But you
bias.
know,
I'm
no,
just
but you know
saying.
what? I forgot about Jacksonville, and Trevor Lawrence had a good
Yeah,
season last year. So if he can keep it rolling, I agree with you on that too.
for sure.
Just going, that's a
For
tough
sure.
division, man.
Yeah, the South is going to be tough.
Because Indy and Jacksonville is pretty much a wash. You know what I'm saying? But that defense in
Yeah.
Houston is legit. They up there with saying with y'all and us as far as saying defensively, and then obviously the Rams. But we'll talk about them motherfuckers later.
Yeah. All right. Meech, you got anything to say, Meech?
I just wanted to say, out of those 3 games we won last year, 1 game was against Houston. That's why I say I don't really believe in them. With that offensive line, with Jeffrey Simmons up there and added Myers on there, we drafted Kendall Falk. We got Jermaine Johnson from the Jets. I know that might sound like a bunch of just random names, but if we put pressure on the offensive line and the defense got better, I still think that if we split with anybody in that division, most likely, I live in Indiana. We can beat the Colts. It's very possible. Jacksonville is the one that just been whooping our ass since Derrick Henry left. But I believe if we can split with any of those teams, that's what's going to give us the edge in that division. Like I said, I'm not saying that we're going to win the division. I just see us winning about 8 games this year.
Gotcha. Thank y'all for your input. Definitely AFC South is a tough division, so we'll see how the season goes and we'll address as it comes back up. All right, so moving on. Next, we got Peter, the Guru.
What up? Hey, y'all see the Guru? I got the crucifixion sign out there. Y'all see what it is?
That's the most conceited shit I ever seen in my life. I meant to say that earlier, but
hold on, bro. Hold on. You see that? That's the Guru on the cross.
All right, let's not spend too much time on that, man.
Wow.
That's hard work.
All right, so let me get into it this year. We got the Eagles, man. The Eagles has been rolling for the last 6 years. You ain't gonna win a Super Bowl every year. You ain't gonna win a playoff game every year. So this is a consistent group right here. Got the loss of AJ Brown. I feel like the Eagles offense probably will have some growing pains to start the year out. Let me bring up their schedule real quick. Probably going to have some growing pains. I don't think they're going to be losses. I just think that they're implementing a new offense. They're going more to the West Coast offense with Sean Mann as the offensive coordinator. Start the season out against the Commanders. We got the Titans. We got y'all, Brooks. The Bears, it's going to be a tough one. The Rams, the Jags, Panthers. This is not an easy schedule, but it's not a completely difficult schedule. You got some, you got the Niners, the Giants. I don't think the Eagles have a tough schedule this year. We're not playing a lot of hard hitters like we were last season. So I think that definitely we'll see a little bit of growing pains just to get that offense implemented, that new West Coast offense. Of course, is going to come down to the play of Jalen Hurts and the running game. If we can get that the offensive line was banged up last year. This year, the offensive line, if they're healthy, which they look like they're going to be healthy, I think the Eagles are just going to go with a run-heavy style offense again this year. And then they're going to try to bring that passing game along because really all he got out there is Devontae Smith. Look like Lemon's been injured all training camp so far. So, and he's a rookie. I never really put a whole lot of faith in a lot of rookies at the wide receiver position. Usually take them 2 or 3 years before they learn how to play the position, learn how to get to the holes in the field and stuff like that. But the Eagles defense is the star of the team. Everybody like to talk about Jalen Hurts and Saquon Barkley and, the defense is the star. Even when we won the Super Bowl, the defense is what led us to that Super Bowl. I want to see what the linebacker core looked great. The defensive line, we got Jordan Davis coming back. We got him on the contract. We got Jalen Carter. They just got paid. We picked up Reek Woolen from the Seahawks. That's your boy right there, James. I really like Reek Woolen. He's 6'4" cornerback. It reminds me of when we used to have Bobby Taylor and we had Troy Vincent. So now we got probably the best defensive backs in the league. I really do. Y'all heard me mention him earlier. Reed Blankenship. I'm concerned about our safety position. I know they're going to have they're moving Coop to the nickelback position, and I think they say he's going to play safety in the base defense. But I know a lot of people disagree with me, but I used to love Reed Blankenship, man. That dude was solid. Is he a Pro Bowler? I'm not saying a Pro Bowler. I'm just saying he's a solid guy to have back there. So I want to know, it looked like they're going to try to fill him with Marcus Epps or somebody like that. So I think the defense is going to lead. If you ask me what I feel like the Eagles is going to do on the season, I'll give them a good 11 to 12 wins on the year, 12-5. If I was to say, I don't see them losing with that schedule that I just looked at. I don't see the Eagles losing more than 6 games this year. So I'll put them at 12-5. Dallas is going to be tough. The Commanders is going to be tougher than what they was last year. They just picked up Diggs at wide receiver. Let's
go ahead and wrap it up, Pete.
12 so,
right, we're gonna
there you go. 12-5. That 12-5. Y'all heard me.
All right, you heard Petey. 12-5. All right, Lid, we're gonna hold on to Lid's discussion about it, but if Meech or James want to chime in on what they think the
hell, you goddamn right, I want to chime in. Look, nigga, hey Pete, don't start that shit. Now look, this has been the problem in the locker. For those that's watching that's not in the locker, this has been the issue. When it comes to the Eagles talk, it's always about what Jalen Hurts did. He's the reason why. Now you're saying that it's the defense. This is what I've been saying all along. Is the main reason why y'all been winning so many games is the defense put y'all in great positions. Now, when y'all got Barkley, he was another piece. Hurts is a piece, but to me, he's the third option out of all 3 of those I just named. You feel me? So I just want to say, I see that you're starting to understand your team better. Is that you're saying now? Right. You're saying that.
Let me respond to what you're saying. So when I say,
what I was saying.
All right, hold on, you can finish. Give me one second. So Jalen Hurts on any quarterback is the leader of a team. That's the way I see it. Every now and then you get a couple one-offs where that's not the case. The defense, if you want to be a Super Bowl team like the Eagles have been, let's talk about the Terry Bradshaw Steelers. They had a great offense, but they had the steel curtain. Let's talk about the great Dallas teams in the 90s. They had a great offense, but they had a great defense. Let's talk about the great 49ers teams with Joe Montana, Jerry Rice. They had a great offense, but they had a great defense, Ronnie Lott and Deion Sanders and Bill Romanowski. So, yes, Joe Montana, yes, Tom Brady, all these guys are the leaders, but they were all backed up by great defenses. The only thing I like to say about Jalen Hurts is don't use against him that he has a great roster around him. We didn't do that with other guys. So yes.
Let's get back on track here, Pete. We're going off on a different tangent.
I just wanted to point that out that I feel like the defense is a big piece. But okay, I got you.
I'm just saying.
Got you. I'll give you some time at the end, Pete, to answer both of their questions, right? But we got to keep it under a minute for the rebuttals, all right? That's the only way this show's going to flow is if we keep it nice and short, not just carry it on. Now, as we progress through the show, right, and it gets bigger, we get more comfortable, then we could take it a little bit more past, but we ain't there yet. All right, so James, Meech, go ahead. You weren't finished with your spiel. I'll give you 30 more seconds.
No, it's cool, bro. Let's keep it moving, man. We'll try again next time. Let's go.
All right, got you. James, you got anything to say about the Eagles?
Oh, that defense is going to carry them. It's either going to be it's going to make or break them. That defense is amazing. Front, saying that front four, saying it is as good as it can be in football. So having the trenches taken care of should take them a long way. So, saying the offense is going to be what the offense is going to be, but I think the defense is just going to be is going to carry the day, in my opinion.
Gotcha. All right, Petey, you got any final words?
No, I just saying I agree. I think, yeah, offense is what sell the tickets. We understand that. But if you want to win championships, there's always that defense. You need a running game, you need defense. All right.
Got you. So Pete, 12-5. Eagles going 12-5 this year. All right. So let's move on. We're gonna have James, Super Bowl champs. What we got for Seattle over there?
Yo, what's good, y'all? Just right out the gate. I think we're gonna either. I think we're gonna go 12-5 as well. Honestly, saying I think that there's gonna be some growing pains. Obviously, we have a new offensive coordinator with Brian Fleury. They're keeping everything pretty much similar, but saying with some tweaks and things like that. And so I think there'll probably be some games that we'll lose that we're supposed to win, and then we'll probably get it rolling, probably probably the end of October, November, and really start to hang in there. Both sides of the trenches unchanged. We got some competition at right guard with Anthony Bradford. He was our kind of like our weak link with the addition of Bo Stevens from North Dakota State. So he should definitely provide a little bit of fire up under Bradford's behind, so he can play like he played during the postseason run. Because during the postseason run, he was amazing, but during the regular season, leaving a little bit to be desired. I think the offense is going to be fine. With Shaheed having a whole training camp in the offense, definitely going to make a difference. We got Horton coming back. He's another speedster. He had 40 touches, 6 touchdowns before he went down. So he was a contributor before he got injured. So, and the fact that JSN, the offensive player of the year, is going to be commanding a lot of double teams and things like that, these guys will have an opportunity to flourish. Jadarian Price replacing Kenneth Walker, saying there's going to be another running back by committee. I don't think that he's going to take the bulk of the carries or anything like that. And then our defense got better. Saying that, we lost Boye Mafe and Reek Woolen and things like that, but we added Riley Mills, saying the whole Super Bowl, saying, tackling the offensive tackle and the quarterback at the same time. He's healthy. We got the addition of Dante Fowler, saying obviously Big Cat Williams, things of that nature. So I think we're going to be just fine. Nick Emanwari, the joker of our defense, he's saying he's just coming off a little ankle surgery. He should be good by week 1, week 2, and then we can just get right back to it. Obviously, we've been hearing rumblings about Terry and Arnold. He'll definitely help out if he gets past his legal issues, and he can only just make the defense better. So I'm definitely looking forward to saying a good season and things like that. I think we'll split with the Rams again, and I think that the NFC West will be decided in probably in December, January timeframe. So, hey, let's get after it. That's why we play the games.
All right. So 12-5 for the champs. Now, James, that's what we're going with. Do you think that they're going to repeat? You think they're going to go back to back?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. I do. I think we'll come out the blocks a little wobbly, again, just like in any other, Super Bowl defending champion and things like that. But I think by the time December comes around, when it starts getting colder and people, saying, and then you really start making them business decisions, saying in the trenches and things like that, and the games get tighter, I think that our front seven will carry the day. I don't think we're gonna be out here blowing nobody out or no shit like that. I just think that we're gonna have some really, really good, tough games in December, going into January and things like that, and be able to
yes,
do what we got to do.
I got what you're saying. So you guys were the most complete team last year, right? Let's see if it could carry over. So thank you, James. All right. Do we have anybody else that thinks that they're not going to repeat this year or they're not even going to hit 12-5?
I don't know about repeating. It's tough to do in the NFL. I mean, it's a lot of parity, so I don't know about repeating. I mean, as a fan, as a fan of the team that just won the champs, I mean, just won the chip, I think my team going to repeat too, especially if it was no real changes made. So, I mean, but the Seahawks are the champs until they ain't. So, you know, it is what it is. So, will they repeat? It's a great chance that they can. You know what I mean? But I don't. I just think it's tough. I'm not going to say yes or no to that. You know what I mean? But if you're not a fan, if you don't believe in your team, especially if y'all just had a parade, you understand what I'm saying? So, we'll see. But salute to the champs.
That's right.
Man, I think repeating for Seahawks, a team that on offense does not have, like, they got Jackson Smith Najiba, and I love his game. But outside of that, they don't have like true big time playmakers on offense. If you look at the teams that have gone back to back, which is it's not often, but when you look at teams that had to do a dynasty together, they had big name superstars. You know, I'm not saying that the Seahawks is not a really good team. They are, and I like their coach, Mike. What's his name? Mike McDonald or something. What's his name? I like their coach a lot. They got one of the best head coaches in the league. They have a really good defense. I know they lost. Y'all lost y'all Super Bowl MVP running back. That's going to be what the kid Walker, Kenneth Walker, whatever his name is. They lost him at running back. Y'all, I felt like he had a great playoff stretch, but I didn't even think that y'all had a great running game throughout the season last year. So, you know, if they can improve that. Sam Darnold, yeah, he won a Super Bowl, had a really good season, but he's going to have to continue to do what he's been doing, he's been really good the past couple of years. Um, I think it's a tall order for a team that just doesn't have like playmakers. You get what I'm saying? So probably a good run. They're a tough division. The Niners, don't forget about the 49ers. They're there. Don't forget about I'm not a huge fan of the Rams. I feel like the media always chooses a team to overhype. They're good, but yeah, I don't see back to back from this team. You know, if they do, it's going to be really great head coaching again. So that's
Yeah,
my point.
yeah. I think one of the reasons why they won the Super Bowl is they didn't really have all the superstars last year either, but they were the most complete team in all three phases of the game. You know what I'm saying? But can they repeat that this year is going to be a tough task, right? Just like Lid said, it's hard to repeat in the NFL or even in the NBA nowadays, right? Teams are getting better, they're changing, they're thinking of ways to come up with how to beat the champs, right? So it's all eyes on Seattle, right? I know that the Rams took some pressure off you guys by signing Myles Garrett, right? Now all the pressure kind of shifts back to them. So, but we'll see. NFC West is a tough division. All right, y'all. So we're gonna finish up the show. We're gonna ask one more hot take. All right. So who is your sleeper team in the AFC and NFC? All right. Y'all got 2 minutes.
It's Liz's turn.
Yeah. Was it Lid's turn? Oh, it is Lid's turn. My bad. Forgot you, Lid. My bad.
It's all good.
So last but not least, we are gonna go with Lid. Lid, you're an Eagles fan as well, right? So what do you see for your team?
I share for the first time in football history, I share a similar opinion with Pete, just different record wise. I'm gonna go in the trenches. Our defense, we all know about our defense. I think we still gonna have a top five ish defense. My only thing about the defense is we have no real depth, especially in the back end. Barring injury, that may come down to hurt us. At safety, it's still right now a toss up. They're talking about playing Coop at safety, but still playing nickel when they go three wide. But the thing about that is most of the league run three wide 75, 80% of the time anyway. So it's like, who's going to be our two safeties back there? So that's my only question mark on defense. Oh, and what's my man name we got from the Vikings? Gennard. Is he going to be healthy enough to play through the season? Is he going to be ready week one? Is that, I think it's a pectoral injury that sat him down for the entire offseason. Is he going to be ready for that? If not, then we still got we got question marks at the edge position because I don't think I think Nolan Smith going to have to be a guy that has to be like, you need like a John Carter and a Davis and a Gennard to let somebody like Nolan Smith eat. You know what I mean? So he could get one-on-one coverages. But that's my only question marks on defense, just depth and injury statuses. On offense, this is where I have a lot of question marks. We all know we let even though he had a down year, we all know we traded AJ Brown. His stats show that he didn't have a great year, but what he does on the field and the attention that he gets on the field on offense, it wasn't replaced. We drafted a first round pick in Mechee Lemon, and he's already starting to look like a lemon. He missed most of OTAs. He missed most of camp already with a hamstring, and we know them wide receivers. That's what you guys do. They run. Their hamstring could be tricky all season. I mean, it could feel good one day, then 2 weeks later he could be sidelined again. So we never know. And then I think we just got a bunch of journeymen after Smitty. You know what I mean? So I just don't know what our passing offense is going to look like. What our running offense is going to look like. I think it's going to be good. I think it's going to be good to real good. I think they're going to do more of a dual threat thing going on with Tank Bigsby and Saquon, just try to, rest Saquon a little bit more than instead of like trying to make him like a workhorse back. But a question mark that I do have is two things. The offensive line, we got two offensive linemen, great O linemen that contemplated retirement. We all heard the announcement that Lane Johnson just made as far as saying that this might be his last year. And reports have it that he's been telling people that this is his farewell tour. Then we also got the all-pro lane Landon Dickerson, who they had to like basically I'm not saying beg, but like just rethink the retirement process due to injuries. He's been injured all the way back to Alabama, so it's like you got two of your five O linemen mentally. Are they in the game? Or are they not in the game? Also, you got a new O line coach. I mean, we had Stoutland. We had Jeff Stoutland, who was a great offensive line coach for the last 15 years. And for those last 15 years, we always had a top 10 O-line. You know what I mean? Who's to say this new guy that's coming in with a new scheme and a new philosophy, is he going to be any good? I mean, yeah, they talk in front of the cameras when they interview him and say that they love it, but it doesn't really matter until they get on the field. And also with the OC, I mean, everybody knows where he came from and what mind he studied under, but is that mind going to translate into you being a good play caller? Is that mind going to translate into you be able to command a room of 53, well, not 53 guys, but an offensive room? You know what I mean? Are they going to be able to listen to you? So it's just a lot of question marks. There's a lot of unknowns for me to confidently say, especially when I know that the NFC East got better as a whole, to confidently say that we're going to win 11, 12 games. I just think that's a farce. I try to be as real as possible when it comes down to my football team. And if just because it's Eagles, I just can't jump out the window and say I'm gonna give them 11 wins. So, but I do think our defense is tough. I do think we will have an okay to great running game, and I do have us 9 wins. Now we can't be great every year. You know what I mean? I got us 9, 10 wins, 10 wins at the most. So if this is a bounce back year to see whether if Hurts can get this offense under his like get it down packed the way they want to see him get it down packed, and we can move forward with that, or it could be a breakout year for him. Who knows? But as of right now, me not knowing and outside of that building, nobody really knows. I mean, yeah, Sean Mannion came from this guy, but he could come in here and say, I want to run this. You know what I mean? Just because he came from this system, it ain't a guarantee that he's going to run this type of system. You know what I'm saying? Even though that's history shows us that's what they do, but it's no guarantee. So me not knowing, I'm a cap is at 10 wins at the most, 9 wins is our floor.
What's your confident answer? We go 9 or 10. Which one?
I'm gonna go 9.
Look back. 9?
9.
All right.
I think the division got tougher. I think we got a first place schedule. Division got tougher. A lot of people around us got tougher or got better in some angle. And offensively, we took a major hit with not refilling the gap that AJ Brown presence not being filled.
I'm looking forward to this year. This year's good. It's going to be good to watch. I think we're going to have a good year as far as the NFL wise. All right. Thanks, Lid, for that. Got 9 wins for Lid. All right. So to recap, we got the Titans going 8-9 for Meech, right? Pete's got the Eagles going 12-5. James got Seattle going 12-5, and also going back to back. And then Lid, you got the Eagles 9 wins. You're confident with that. All right. Anybody want to say anything before we move on to?
Hey man, let me. Yeah, I gotta respond to Lid. I agree with a lot of the stuff that he said for sure. I think where I disagree is the Eagles' defense is really good, and I don't see them losing giving up 8 games.
I never,
You know,
I never said they weren't good. I said they're top 5 defense.
No,
I'm
I'm not
just
saying.
got a question on depth. That's all.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that their defense is so good. I don't see us losing 8 games with that defense. You get what I'm saying? I do agree. The offense. This is going to be a show and tell year for Jalen Hurts. I do agree because they're going to the West Coast offense. Now he's going to be asked to run a West Coast style offense, meaning he's going to have to pass a lot more than what he's probably ever passed in his career. You get what I'm saying? So I agree. I think the offense might have some growing pains early on, and I do agree with Lid. We got one good wide receiver. We got Hollywood Brown and we got Wicks from Green Bay, who's never been in a role like that. So it's gonna. I don't see the Eagles only winning 9 games though. I just don't see that. So
you don't see it, or you don't want to see it.
No, I don't see it. You gotta see. They got top 5 defense in the NFL. They got an offense that even when it was just Hurts, Smitty, and Goddard, the Eagles won 9 games. You get what I'm saying? And that was in 2000. That was in 2021.
Coming off of, remember we was trash in 20, so we had a weak schedule.
But look at our schedule this year. We don't have a tough schedule this year.
We had a tough
schedule. We had a tough schedule last year.
We got the division leader schedule. So we got some tough opponents. Starting off early. I mean, no disrespect to the Titans, but outside of the Titans, our first 4 or 5 games, they're all pretty good matchups. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to discredit the Titans at all. I'm just saying the reality of it. Like, it's okay if we have a bounce back year. I could see us winning 11 games, but I just can't. My heart says I don't see us winning more. I mean, I could be the fan guy and say, okay, we could win 11 games, and I'm not saying that's what you are. I'm just saying I just can't see it with everybody else getting better. Like the Bears just kicked our ass last year on Black Friday. I mean, kicked our ass.
They ran the ball down our throats.
They kicked, however they did it, they kicked our ass. You feel what I'm saying? We played them week 3, week 4. So like, and this
the Bears just lost the cat Kobe.
I'm just saying
they got some issues over there.
It's still early in the year versus a team that's more stable than we're coming into the season as. We got some tough opponents early on, and if we don't rack wins early on, it's gonna be hard to play catch up. The defense we paid three of our starting D linemen over $100 million, $80 million. Carter, what's the name? Jonathan Grenard, and we just paid Jordan Davis $80-90 million. Are they going to get that money and fall back because they made it? Who knows? We don't know this. These are questions that I ask myself. You feel what I'm saying? These are cool. Everybody don't have that Kobe mentality like, all right, we got money, but I still want to be great. You know what I mean? So are they going to relax? Who knows? But all I know is these are things I ask myself. I believe they're top 5 defense. I believe they're going to show out to be that type of defense. But are they going to have the feeling that we tired of carrying the offense? Because they've been carrying the offense for the last couple of seasons now. So who knows? That's my only thing. I'm not saying it's going to happen. It's not going to happen. These are just things that I ask myself. That's it.
Yeah, I think that everybody's gonna find out like how I think, right, and how I watch the games, right? The first couple of games are really kind of like feel out games, right? It's not till like the 3rd week of the season till you really find if your team don't have an identity by then, it's probably not gonna work out, for the season. So time will tell. I'll give it to week 3, but for myself,
especially since nobody play preseason no more. So yeah, it's like.
But the Eagles, I think all pressure is on the Eagles. Right. It's all the Eagles defense. All right. Because like I said, the offensive issues, new offensive coordinator, stuff like that, uncertainty, new system and whatnot. So time will tell. Anyways, let's go ahead and move on to our last segment of the show. It's going to be your sleeper take. So who's the sleeper team in the AFC? In the AFC, I'm going to give y'all 2 minutes each. So we're going to go ahead and start with Meech. Who is your sleeper team in the AFC?
Like I said, man, I'm gonna stick with my Titans. It might sound biased, but I just don't believe in the AFC South. Daniel Jones, I think he's tore his Achilles last year. He's coming back off injury. We don't know how he's gonna look. A lot of people, like I live in Indiana, a lot of people get geeked about Sauce Gardner. To me, he's overrated. Like people still pick on him. You can't be say that you're the number 1 cornerback in the league and people pick on you every game. I've been seeing him get cooked for a couple of years now, but nobody really talks about that. It's just the name. Sauce sounds like, oh, he's a baller, but whatever. Houston offensive line, I still don't believe in that. And Jacksonville, I just hate them motherfuckers. So I'm always rocking my team. I do believe with all the pieces we picked up, if we could win 8 or 9 games, we can steal that division. AFC South and the NFC South are pretty much the same. Those are two divisions that seem like the weakest divisions to me in the NFL. So my NFC team would be Carolina Panthers again. I said Panthers last year. I think actually it was me and Pete that both said Carolina last year. And I think like with the pieces they got, they still got the same team they got. They picked up Phillips from the Eagles. I think with a full training camp, he'll be fine. But the key thing was that team that they had last year was keeping up with the Rams. They gave the Rams a run for their money last year. I know Rams got better, but just seeing Carolina ball out the way they did, Bryce Young start finally looking like a number one. I think he was number one pick, the number one quarterback for that team. My two sleeper picks will be the Tennessee Titans and the Carolina Panthers.
Gotcha. Thanks. All right. Now moving on. Petey, who are your sleeper teams, AFC and the NFC?
Let me start the NFC. NFC, my sleeper team is going to be the Vikings. I really like Kyler Murray. What's that wide receiver they got? JJ, forget his last name. The superstar wide receiver they got. Just can't. I'm having a brain freeze. Justin Jefferson. There you go. I think Kyler Murray, man. Kyler Murray has a lot to prove, and they already named him the starter for the Vikings. And you know, I got to see that guy play when he came here in Arizona in 2022, and I got to see him play the Eagles, man. The Eagles was beating him, but man, I'll tell you what, once Kyler Murray starts rolling out and starts using his legs and all that, and he starts getting on the outside, man, he's a magical player when he's
I'm glad he out the division.
Right. He's a scary player, man. He's focused, man. He could be really scary. Now you give him a superstar wide receiver that they can just play tag, basically. I got the Vikings. I can't see no other team in the NFC that I would call a sleeper. You know, we have our good teams, but if I'm gonna say a sleeper, a team that nobody's thinking about, I'm gonna go with the Vikings. In the AFC, a sleeper. Man, you know, of course we got the good teams, you know, but if I was to say a sleeper, I would choose the Raiders. I would choose the Raiders because they're the only team that people just don't think are gonna be that good. You get what I'm saying? You know, you got your normal Bills, the Patriots, the Steelers, the Ravens, the Bengals. You know, the Bengals could be a bounce back team if Joe Burrows can start figuring things out and they can get that defense together. But you know, I'm gonna go with the Raiders. Isn't Kirk Cousins going to be starting there? And then, so you got Kirk Cousins, man. When you got Kirk, he gonna win at least 8 or 9 games, man, if he can stay healthy. You get what I'm saying? They're the only team that I can see surprising everybody in the AFC because all the other teams to me are not surprises. You know, if they're good, I'll go with the Raiders. That'll be my pick.
Yeah, so Vikings and the Raiders for Pete, right? Vikings, yeah, Vikings. I mean, they've always been tough. Yeah, they had a rough patch, but they still got JJ out there. And then I agree with y'all with Kyler. Kyler, he still got it, man. As long as he's within the right system and it tailors to him, then I think that they're going to be just fine. And for the Raiders, I mean, they just got Clint Kubiak from Seattle. He just won a Super Bowl, right, for the OC. They got Fernando Mendoza, right? Hopefully, I mean, Max Crosby back after that botched trade, right? So, I mean,
Right.
he's going to look forward to playing. So, I mean, only time will tell for the Raiders. I appreciate you having faith in my Raiders, P. Appreciate it. So, let's move on. James, who we got?
Oh man, I hope I'm wrong. Oh shit. But my sleeper, that's not really a sleeper, but mentioned it earlier, man, the 49ers. It's like obviously the division opponent and stuff like that, and but just looking at them, the injuries, everything, and they were still on the doorstep, even though we beat the brakes off them. That's what we were supposed to do because of the compromise situation that they were in. But if they get healthy, it could get real spooky. But so that's my sleeper team for the Niners, just out of respect, just for the division and stuff like that. It's not really a sleeper, but because they were good last year. But I just think that, health and, in another year in Shanahan's, under Shanahan's leadership, is just You can't ignore them. In the AFC, I got the Chargers. I got the Los Angeles Chargers. I think with the addition of Mike McDonald as the OC, I think that he's where he's supposed to be. I don't think that he was, saying head coach per se. I think it was a little much for him just because he didn't really have any roots on defense, like none, and it was all just all his mastery was on the offense and things like that. And we know how went with the injuries and Tua and things like that. But I think that now that he's where he needs to be, Harbaugh has the defense. Mike, you got the offense, and you got arguably one of the best quarterbacks in the league. You know what I'm saying? Hey, they keep putting the boy up there every year, huh? You know what I'm saying? You got to break through sometime. But again, I got the Chargers, man. I think the Chargers going to do something. Again, they got to stay healthy, and I think that just goes for every team. You know what I'm saying? I think that every team is probably like 2 or 3 injuries away from being 4-12 or 2 and 3, healthy players from being 13 and 13-4. So,
we got
those
the
are my
Niners and the
two.
Chargers, right? Niners and the Chargers sleeper team. So Niners always a good team. The NFC West is always going to be challenging. Chargers always mentioned to be a top team, right? But it's as far as Justin Herbert takes it. I think that Herbert is one of the most overrated quarterbacks in the NFL, so up there with Joe Burrow. Every time it's always some excuse for Herbert. He's been in the NFL for 6, 7 seasons, and he's the top quarterback, MVP, right? But it's always somebody else, and it's never on him. So he's been different systems, but I mean that could be biased. I am an AFC West guy, right? But I mean I see it. I know other people.
No, you're preaching. You're preaching. Keep preaching.
Yeah. So,
you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Yeah. So for the Chargers, right, it's going to be a make or break it season for Herbert because how much time are they going to give this cat? So, I see a few of y'all with your microphones on. Y'all wanted to.
No, it's my turn, right?
Yeah. So we're going to do Goose.
All right. So James took my sleeper for the AFC, like for the exact same reasons that I had. They got a new OC who's a offensive genius as far as where his mind is at, and I think that may help them going forward. And now they got both sides of the of the ball figured out coaching wise. So that's my AFC sleeper or whatever you want to call it. Yeah, but for my NFC. I'm not the guy that really watches college or pay attention too much to the offseason moves going on unless it's my team or something local. So I'm gonna go with the as a sleeper, meaning like they may make the playoffs, they may make some noise, but they're gonna be much better than they were last year, and that's the Giants. I like the things that they did. They already had some things going on, drafting neighbors. They had a solid offense. They had a nice little dual running back thing going on, but it was going through a quarterback carousel last year. They figured out who that quarterback is. They got some leadership in the building with Harbaugh. They got a nice. I like their D line. They're kind of violent. Now the rest of their defense, it could go either or, but their D line is kind of violent, and I like that. And I think they're going to come. They're trending upwards. I'll say that as far as why I picked them. And yeah, that's it. That's why I picked them. So for now, I got. My sleeper is the Chargers in the AFC, and my trending upwards is the Giants for the NFC.
Yeah, nice. All right, you already know my feelings.
I like that pick. I wasn't even thinking about the Giants.
Yeah, the Giants. Yeah, the Giants are going to be a sleeper team. They did add Harbaugh. They got Jackson Dart, right? I mean, he looked pretty good in the preseason, the first game.
I mean, having to play what they had
motherfucker need to slide. That's what the fuck he need to do.
That too. But they had three different quarterbacks last year.
Yeah, they had Wilson, they had Dart, and who else they had? There's somebody else, right?
Then they had it was 3, right? Or it's just Wilson and Dart?
I think it was just Wilson and Dart.
But either way, it was a madhouse. And
I know that Scatterboo came on, right? So
they had Winston, Russell Wilson, and Dart.
That's who it was. Jameis Winston. That's who it was.
Winston,
so
yeah.
So
Scatterboo need to gain some weight.
Yeah, Winston played the other night.
If he's gonna be the bell cow, he need to gain some weight. He need to get stronger. His running style, good to go. But for his running style with these NFL defenders, he's gonna have to gain some weight to maintain and you know what I'm saying, get through this
And
17-game season.
He
and
got to
then go to the
relax
playoffs.
off the field too. He's a wild card. Him and Jackson Dart, I feel like they both wild cards off the field and on the fields. So they just got to relax a little bit, grow up a little bit. And I got them making a little bit of noise this year. That's all. And as an NFC East representative, I you know, you got your eyes on your counterparts. So that's one of the teams that I got my eyes on.
Me too. That's why my eyes on the fucking Niners and the Rams.
As you should.
All
Niners
right,
make moves every year, but it's like they just can't get over that hump, man. But like you never know when your time is your time, and once you get over that hump, you know, anything is possible after that. So we'll see, man. It's gonna be an interesting year this year.
Yeah, because they upset after that ass whooping we gave.
I was gonna say, when you had mentioned the Niners is one of those teams that always seem like they give you a good year and then they give you a down year. Then they give you a good year, then they give you a down year. You know what I'm saying?
Well, here's the thing.
So I think they are scary.
Hopefully they're down this year.
Consistent. I mean, if the Niners get injured, they're injured, but they can adapt. That's the thing. It's like they're not going to go anywhere, even if you know their quarterback or running back, wide receiver down. They're still going to be in it. They're like their backups, right?
They picked up Mike Evans this year too, so they got a wide receiver.
Shanahan is a hell of a coach, bro.
Yeah, dude,
He be coaching the shit out of their ass, bro.
That's kind of like a retirement. That's kind of like a retirement community though in that wide receiver room, though, man. You got Debo old ass, you got Mike Evans old ass.
Yeah,
yeah, I mean, but you know they all get older at the end of the day. But at the end of the day, they got great coaching behind them, so you never know how they might scheme these guys over. Nah. Them days are over with, man. It's 4 yards in the cloud of dust with them this year.
They set us up.
They can't overuse the white ball the way they be overusing the white ball, man. They got to figure out how to spread that ball around, man. Get everybody involved, man, to keep him healthy throughout the season.
Yeah, because we be keying in on him. We be trying to murder that motherfucker.
Why wouldn't you, man? He bad
we be
boy,
trying to
man.
murder him.
He a
you
bad
let him loose,
man.
that son bitch had 200 yards.
Easy.
All
so,
right,
but yeah.
Let's go ahead and close up this show. I appreciate everybody's time, everybody's input. Right, we got it locked in for our first dry run, right, for the Locker Huddle. So hopefully, once I'm the moderator, you guys already got a feel how I'm going to run things, right? But I appreciate everybody. Thank you for putting it together, right? Let's continue it. Let's get some.
I got
feedback.
one suggestion for the name. Another name.
Go ahead, bro.
3 guys that know sports, and then Pete.
Oh, is Pete gonna be on every week? That's
we all know that ain't true. We all know that ain't true.
You gotta put the dot and Pete. You know what I mean?
That's on the assumption that's Pete gonna be in the show every week, though.
We all know that ain't true.
Nah, I'm just talking, man. I'm just talking for laughs. But I like. But we're gonna have to come. Days are gonna be like Wednesday because like Wednesday before Thursday night football or
I think Wednesday would be the best day because
remember kickoff this year is on Wednesday.
Yeah.
What's that?
Yeah, but that's just the first.
That's just one. Yeah.
After that,
they
be Thursday night games.
Yeah.
Bastards.
Hey, I'm about to go ahead and end it, y'all, so we can lock and edit this the right way.
Just start the group chat.
Wait, y'all just give me like 2 minutes before I end it though.
Nah.